Mr. Robert Lee. Thank you, Mr. Deputy. The National 15th Five-Year Plan proposes the full implementation of the AI Plus initiative. And that means bringing together different aspects of life, social governance, the economy, and many other areas. Here's what I want to say. The impact of AI on the job market and how we can promote the use of AI in finance. In the financial market, there is frontline customer service, there is compliance, there is back-end analysis. AI is used to different extents. So this means in settlement and other market operations, AI can play a role. AI also deals a blow to the job market. In advanced economies, 60% of the jobs will be affected by AI. For half of the jobs, AI can bring efficiency gains. For the other half of the jobs, there may be less of a need for those jobs, and there will be a stagnant wage growth. Junior level jobs will shrink from 44% to 32%, and there will be more mid-ranking jobs as a result of AI. As more financial institutions adopt AI, they are cutting down junior analyst positions. So we need government policies that can help financial practitioners to switch tracks. So analysts may become fund managers, or maybe we can encourage them to start a business so that they can adapt to market changes. In the future, AI will see greater application in both frontline and back-end operations, so the government can help these professionals in adapting. There are also changes in the market, and there will be T+1 settlement and also uncertificated securities. Those changes will bring greater efficiency to the market and also a sign that we're moving with the times. As we launch new systems, we also have to be mindful of the extra compliance and operational costs for the industry. We should not pass on all that extra pressure onto the industry. AI businesses are a hot topic in the IPO market. Many AI businesses did well in the IPO market. Let's look at market valuation and also gross revenue. Hong Kong is way behind the US, so our regulators should come up with a more flexible regime. They take the specialist tech enterprises listing regime. Some recent relaxations have been observed, but we should further lower the threshold in terms of the market capitalization so that we can be more competitive vis-a-vis the NASDAQ markets in the US. We can streamline procedures for listing to lower the compliance costs for listing, and that's how we can draw more AI businesses here. For listed companies here, they struggle with liquidity. The government should further lower transaction costs. There should be more incentives from the HKEX. Let's bring in more high-frequency traders so that we create an ecosystem of ETFs, and that will mean more liquidity. The government should be prudent in dealing with the impact from AI on the job market, and we should promote industries to bring in more AI businesses so that we inject fresh impetus to the economy and then we contribute to our country. So submit and support the motion and amendment. Mr. Wu Yingpeng. Thank you, Mr. Deputy. I support Professor William Wong's motion and all amendments. The National 15th Five-Year Plan clearly proposes the AI Plus initiative, and that points the way forward for Hong Kong's socio-economic development. We are a financial center. AI is already in use in law, in finance, healthcare, and many other sectors, and this is unleashing new quality productive forces. AI is key to Hong Kong's high-quality development in the future. The rapid development of AI also brings legal and security risks. Personal privacy issues in the form of data leaks, deepfake, AI-generated disinformation, and also protection for intellectual property, cross-boundary data security are some challenges we are facing. Without a legal framework and safeguards, people's well-being will be undermined, and that will also hurt the long-term development of the AI sector. Public safety and social stability will also come under threat. We now have the AI ethical framework and also the AI technical and application guidelines. That's to ensure the orderly application of AI in safe settings. The Department of Justice is also taking steps to review the impact of AI in relation to the law. These efforts deserve our recognition and support. For Hong Kong, we need to ensure that innovation and security go hand in hand. Let's build on our existing statutes and common law system. We need a tiered legal system for AI. On AI application, we should look at the experience of other places such as the EU and the US and also the mainland. We should have a regulatory system based on the different levels of risks in different application scenarios. In critical areas that pose risks to public security, we will need more rigorous measures such as a vetting mechanism and continuing monitoring. But for low-risk commercial scenarios, we should stay flexible to encourage innovation. We need a system that clarifies legal liability. We should clarify the rights and responsibilities of users and providers. We should be clear on the criminal and civil liability when there is violation of rights. If needed, we should set up a dedicated tribunal for AI violations. Let's also stay alert to international developments. We have to look out for overseas developments with extraterritorial applications. We should look out for anything overseas that may affect us. We should also beef up our infrastructure as we drive the digital economy and a smart society. Our power supply, water supply, and transport system, as well as our telecom system and also our financial transaction systems. We also see greater integration of the Internet of Things and AI. AI-based attacks and cyber attacks are becoming more automated. So when our systems come under malicious attacks, the consequences can be dire. We have the critical infrastructures, protection of critical infrastructures, computer systems ordinance. We should get at-risk industries to come up with strategies to protect data security. We should be mindful and analyze dangerous information online so that we take precautions ahead of time. With a well-developed legal system and an ethical framework, we build up solid defenses, and only then we can ensure the sustained success of AI, and then we can empower all industries. I so submit. Mr. Ray Wong. I thank Professor William Wong for his motion. artificial intelligence is driving transformations in global economies, and that's key to new quality productive forces. The 15th five-year plan proposes the AI Plus initiative. It calls for the deep integration of AI with technology, industries, people's well-being, and social governance. Now, I'm from the industries. I see a pressing need for us to lose no time and come up with an AI plus X policy so that we seize the opportunities. First, we need computing capacity for AI, and this is also the bedrock for our new industrialization. The northern metropolis will need computing power to take off. In R&D and also fundamental research from 1 to N, we will need strong computing capacity. But there were reports pointing to a bottleneck in the lack of computing power in Hong Kong. I want to share a story. My office came up with an AI agent. We're trying to streamline different processes to align with our country's technological development. Now, we adopted DeepSeek V4 Pro. In 7 days, they used 70 million tokens. The computing power cost 1,000 Hong Kong dollars for just 7 days. Our own country's large language model is already on par with or even ahead of leading models overseas. We have already overcome the straitjacket of CUDA. We can use different kinds of graphical processing units, including those made in our country. Hong Kong should seize this opportunity. We should build up our computing capacity so that we can foster transformation. Let's also learn from overseas experience. Let's offer subsidies. Recently, the Singaporean government offered computing subsidies. So there's direct subsidies, and they also opened up computing facilities. We should learn from Singapore. With the Sandy Ridge facility in place, we should open up the computing resources, and let's open it up to the industry and R&D outfit. We should also integrate different funding schemes. I want to point out that the digital transformation pilot scheme will have to wait till the second half of this year for its enhancements, and that's falling behind development. INT-related subsidies are scattered across different funding schemes. SMEs will have to rely on AI just to access the funding for them to adopt AI. So let's come up with a one-stop platform to apply for funding schemes. Here's where the government should focus on. First, we need strong computing capacity. Let's talk to the national authorities about leveraging computing capacity from the mainland. We also need a legal framework and also encryption standards and privacy safeguards so that we can share data with the mainland. Second, new industrialization based on smart production. We would like to see the early announcement of new industrialization plans, and that means green technology as well as other areas. And let's burnish our image of smart production. Let's go high-end, let's go smart, let's develop new health science and new energy industries. The 15th five-year plan is already here. The Northern Metropolis and Sandy Ridge will provide the infrastructure. The government should seize the moment and come up with an AI plus X policy so that AI can empower all industries.
Mr. Ronnie Chen, President, as the saying goes, we need to sharpen our tools to do the job. AI is the tool for all industries to succeed. Now, the 15th five-year plan promotes the AI plus initiatives across the board, promoting in-depth integration between AI industries. And also, it is a foundation to turn the country into a financial powerhouse, and that financial services should serve the real economy. AI empowerment is the key to reaching that objective. I support the motion and all the amendments. I believe that in the next 5 years, the government's financial planning will be centered upon AI+. It will drive the automation of processes to judgments in the industry. It will also be used to enhance services to build a highly effective while inclusive financial system to bolster our position as an international financial center. Now, the HKMA has announced the financial tech development blueprints. AI Plus is one of the key measures. Now, in terms of credit assessment and risk management, with AI, we can analyze a large amount of data, including consumption patterns, social media information, and other patterns to lower the credit risk. Also, it will enable real-time monitoring of market changes and client behaviors. Immediate responses can be formulated to respond to risks. Now, in terms of customer service, through AI, we can provide 24-hour characterized, tailor-made customer service. Now, according to the Financial Tech Sophistication Survey, 95% of banks have been adopting AI. Banks are already migrating from the explorative stage to the application stage of AI. The adoption rate has increased to 74%. However, most banks are still using AI in a scattered manner. In the future, AI will be integrated with core businesses. Together with other limitations, including shortage of talents, the potential of AI has not been fully reached. Now, in the next few years, the industry will have to overcome these barriers. Now, in this process, the government's steering position or role is important. In terms of breaking down the barriers between AI applications, the government must set a standard. The government should organize sharing seminars to allow successful users of AI to share their experience. And also, there should be a standardized workflow to adopt AI in the financial setting. In terms of computing power, the Sandy-Ridge Data Park will provide computing power equal to 36 times the existing computing power by 2036. Now, the government should set aside some computing power for the financial sector for AI adoption. In terms of talents and technology collaboration, the government should establish a stable or regular cross-boundary communicative platform to allow bilateral knowledge sharing of AI experts. Now, where applicable, INT talent should be introduced to plug the gap and enhance our capability to provide smart services. While empowering industries with AI, we have to prevent scams with AI. Education is key. Now, in terms of account creation and accreditation, banks are still relying on third-party system, and it is falling behind the growth in scams. Now, the government should make available IFC technologies for the use of banks. For high-risk scenarios like large amount transaction, the bank should require IFC accreditation to authenticate the transaction to prevent scam. Now, with the development of AI, the financial sector should strike a balance between adoption of AI and security. Now, the government should promote the high-quality developments of the financial industry with AI in the next 5 years. Mr. Duncan Chiu. President, I speak in support of Professor William Wong's motion. AI is one of the technologies with substantive breakthroughs. From development to commercialization to application, we have to embrace AI to bolster our competitiveness. The government should take the lead in this effort. Now, Hong Kong is still falling far short from widespread adoption of AI across industries. It takes time. We have to go through the process to overcome all the difficulties to make Hong Kong an important regional hub of AI. Now, AI is built from data. Whether we have sufficient data and whether we have sufficient regulation on data will decide whether we can achieve AI+. In the last term of the legislature, I proposed whether we should consider legislating for data security, like the country. Now, the country's law has 5 focuses. First, definition and categorization. 2, tiered management. 3, obligations. 4, management of data exports. And 5, legal liabilities. Now, in the previous term, we have passed the very important legislation, that is protection of critical infrastructure data ordinance. But we have only covered the 3rd and 5th point, that is obligation of data security and legal liability. And it only covers important infrastructure and service operators. The most important thing, that is tiered management and classification of data. That's something we need to work on. We need to classify data into clear categories to build a clear database for the use of AI training. Now, the T5 has visited Korea last month for a study. Now, one of the notable examples is a sovereignty large model entrusted to a third-party private business. It includes data, city data, for example, city large models to support the development of a smart city. Now, in Hong Kong, if we can have a sovereignty, our sovereignty data model, is that Hong Kong guy? And does Hong Kong guy have sufficient access to data to promote the development of our sovereignty AI? That's also a direction to consider. Third, training of talent. In the process of AI development, indeed, a lot of tasks are undergoing transformation. The speed of transformation and change would outpace the emergence of new jobs. So, can we nurture sufficient talents to deal with these new tasks? That's very important. Now, we may have some plug gap approach, for example, assigning an employee to monitor the AI's work. Well, that relies on education and training. So do we have sufficient curriculum on AI, and also is our examination system fit for purpose? This is something that we need to address. Now, about computing, I will not labor the point as it has been mentioned by several members. We are very pleased that the tender for Sandy Ridge Data Park is a success. There will be a 180,000 petaflops computing power in the future. But we have to consider the availability of power. Is our power supply competitive enough to support the development of our computing power? Finally, commercialization rates of R&D results. We have to provide scenarios and funding for commercialization. Now, funding is one thing, but there is much gap in terms of scenarios. We have to provide scenarios and data for establishing vertical large model. That requires the government to take up the role as the leader. Now, AI is very important for developing new quality productive forces. I support the motion and the amendments. Time's up. Mr. Lam Chun Sing. President, 5 ministries, including the Education Ministry, has published an AI plus education action plan last month with the target to build AI education and AI training for all by 2036. And also there must be a long-term mechanism for AI training for all. Hong Kong should learn from the country's example in terms of enhancing the AI literacy of teachers. Besides different levels of training, schools and institutions are encouraged to conduct assessments and enhance the training contents based on the results. Now, AI tools can enhance teaching efficiency. A lot of teaching works can be dealt with rapidly with AI. The problem is most teachers and students are using generative AI developed in other countries with questionable security and data safety. Now we should develop our own AI tools for teaching that can ensure that the AI tools is up to the Education Bureau standard and it is safe for use by teachers and students. If the AI tools are trained with local data, then we can ensure that the source materials are accurate and law compliant. Unlike overseas large language models, they are trained up by global data and it would give rise to bias. Now, under the budget, $50 million have been dedicated to the AI Training for All initiative. Now, whether the funding is sufficient is questionable. Besides that, the ERB will be upgraded to the Upskill Hong Kong, providing AI training for all industries. Now, we hope that the government will update the contents of training along with the development of AI in the world. Post-secondary institutions will also offer AI training courses, and cyberports and other organizations also have AI training for SME employees. But we have to be careful about overlapping use of resources. So for the $50 million spent on AI training for all, I hope there will not be an overlapping with other funding schemes so that money is well spent. Finally, I have been concerned about the adoption of AI by the government internally. The Digital Policy Office has made arrangements for some 40,000 civil servants to make use of the system, including HK Chat, HK Meeting, and HK Pilot. But how effective is that? How much resources in terms of time and manpower have been saved? There has not been clear statistics. On the other hand, concerning the Singaporean government's AI tools for their civil servants, there are clear data. For example, in the fourth quarter of last year, there were some 80,000 active users. With the assistance of AI, the time required for each task has been reduced by 72 minutes on average. That means 1.18 million hours per month. The free-up time can be spent on other tasks, which can further enhance the standard and quality of civil service. Now, for 26 public service hotline, AI have been used to record the conversation. Now, civil servants' clerical tasks have been reduced by 72%. So on every call, 79 seconds have been saved. This has lessened the burden on frontline civil servants. So I hope the government can quantify the benefits brought about by AI to the government and all sectors so that we can empower these industries with AI. I declare interest. My organization is a training partner of the ERB. I so submit and support the motion and the amendments.
I remind members that according to the requirements of a debate or time limit for debate set out in the House rules, this debate should be adjourned at 5:15 this afternoon at about 4:50. Today, I will invite the mover of the motion to speak on the amendments, and then we will deal with the rest of the procedures. Please speak as succinctly as possible so that more members will be able to speak on the topic. Mr. Chilat Wai. President, I speak in support of Professor Wong's motion and other members' amendments. AI Plus provides impetus for the growth of different industries, and it also drives transformation. With proper use, it will further promote societal development. I want to focus on education. In order to grasp the opportunities of AI Plus, we must make sure that our education system goes smart and goes digital, so as to equip the next generation the skills to cope with the digital economy in the future. This is a new era. When it comes to digital education, this is something that we should not avoid. This is one way of enhancing our competitiveness. Our country places emphasis on AI in education. Hong Kong is an international city. We must catch up. Our government attaches great importance to digital education. In recent years, a lot has been done. For example, $2 billion have been set aside to set up a steering committee. Over 90% of teachers are confident that they will be able to use the digital teaching tools, and I strongly support the government. In terms of digital education, I have the following suggestions. First, on consolidating resources, the government should take the lead in setting up a public service platform across the territory to promote digital education. At the moment, different schools put in a lot of resources and time in selecting or building the teaching and learning platforms incorporating AI, which is the most suitable for their own students. And this entails a lot of administrative work. The platforms lack consistent standards. In order to enhance our teaching and learning resources, we should build a uniform platform under the leadership of the Bureau. This can help schools choose the right platform and save resources. We can also break the information silos so that all teachers and students can make use of the top-notch education resources. In terms of empowering teachers, the education should make reference to the mature standards of our country so that AI can be incorporated into different subjects and into professional training as well. In terms of teachers' professional development, AI should be made compulsory so that the training outcomes can truly translate to the skills to teach students. Now, the third suggestion is that there should be an education support network comprising teachers, school principals, and parents with tripartite participation. The Bureau should make reference to the strategy adopted by our country on digital education so as to put application first and enhance service delivery. On the basis of providing training for teachers, we can further expand the scope of training to school principals and parents so that this tripartite model can form a network of support for digital education. The fourth suggestion is to adjust the assessment model that is kept abreast with the times. Now, it's only the major trend that students make use of AI in their learning process. Now, how do we make sure that we assess the learning outcomes properly now that AI is incorporated? We need to revamp the assessment system to make sure that AI literacy, ethics, etc. can be incorporated as well. The fifth suggestion is about talents. Schools should set up positions dedicated to digital education management, because in order to implement digital education, we need to take forward a number of professional tasks. At the moment, these tasks are taken up by frontline teachers, and in a way, this adds to the burden of these teachers. In order to succeed, the Education Bureau should promulgate guidelines to make sure that digital education coordinator positions can be set up in primary and secondary schools, and for these dedicated posts, subsidies should be provided. Now, there should be some bridging with local universities so that relevant talents can be groomed who specializes in AI management. Now, we must grasp opportunities, and for different fields and industries, we should strive for upgrade and transformation. And education is, of course, not an exception. We need to help our teachers and our students so that we can groom the next generation to cope with technological reforms. Dr. Hui Li. Thank you, President. Artificial intelligence is reshaping the industries and our society, especially how societies run. Now, are we able to grasp this opportunity? It all depends on where we are in this new economic landscape. I'd like to share with you my 2 insights. First, we must fully grasp this opportunity during this window period. When it comes to the wave of AI based on the LLMs, in terms of how it is incorporated into industrial chains, so on and so forth, we are seeing a new wave that exceeds the previous one in terms of computing power. And the State Councils promulgated an outline relating to AI plus, and we must make sure that AI is incorporated into different industries and fields so that AI can empower these industries. When it comes to AI plus and how AI empowers industries, I want to make 2 suggestions. First, we should map out a pathway for the incorporation of AI to support as the core driving force for industries. And that means we should not only base our operation on quantities, on scale of operation. Rather, we should look at the output. And this will be the development direction for all industries. And that in the process, we should develop a high value added model that can generate high output. In fact, for top-notch enterprises in the Bay Areas around the world, the core driving force is the same. In fact, in Silicon Valley, the IT industries as well as the Bay Area in New York, they all share the same keyword. So specifically, I think we can focus on these keywords as well. That's AI plus smart city and AI plus biotech. First, on smart city, Hong Kong is a mega city, and we are in a leading position in terms of global reputation and urban city management. We top the chart. But with the development of AI, there is a lot more room for development, especially on developing a low carbon city. I think that in the past we focused on the interactions between human beings and buildings in the development of a smart and low carbon city. In the future, we should focus on 5 elements, including buildings, vehicles, AI embodied robots, as well as their interactions with human beings. Now, in terms of city management theories, application of technologies, and open source frameworks, formulation, setting of standards, we see a lot of potential. Now, if we have AI plus smart city as the core, we can then build a 5-pronged sphere in taking forward the innovative city management philosophy, and together with the implementation AI, we could be the lead. We could be the leader in the world. In terms of AI plus biotech, I think that AI plus biotech will give us a lot of pivot. Now, AI plus biotech carries a lot of weight. For example, in terms of AI and bio data, as well as the setting of standards on biodata, we should focus on these 2 areas and enhance our efforts in nurturing relevant tech firms. And we can also build closed-loop AI biodata factories, and that we can also set standards in relation to the relevant R&D work. I so submit. Mr. Rock Chan. President, I speak in support of Professor Wong's original motion. AI is developing in an unprecedented manner, and it's reshaping the global economic landscape. This is the beginning of the country's 15th five-year plan, and our country has given us a very important strategic mission, and that is to take forward AI+. Now, as our government is actively dovetailing with the national strategy, we're going to draw up the first five-year plan within this year, and we are going to draw up proposals for the long-term development of I&T sector as well as industrial upgrading and transformation. AI will be the key word. In the budget 2026-27, $1 billion have been set aside by the government to build the Hong Kong AI R&D Institute, and a committee on AI Plus and industry development strategy has been set up. Now, I fully acknowledge the government's commitment in adopting a top-level design in taking forward AI development. I support the government. However, when it comes to using AI to empower industries, we need to tackle a lot of challenges. According to the Hong Kong Productivity Council's survey in 2025 on the trend of Hong Kong enterprises using AI, although close to 90% of enterprises have begun to use AI technology, but over half of these enterprises have not formulated a complete AI governance framework. Now, this is the bottleneck. The SMEs are quite helpless in the course of transformation and in the face of high operating costs. I have the three suggestions in relation to the first five-year plan for Hong Kong and how we implement the AI plus X policies. In the first five-year plan, there should be clear policies on the formulation of vertical large models to support SMEs in a precise manner. We are a service-oriented economy. We are good at financial services, legal services, healthcare, and they have unique demands for AI. In the coming 5 years, in the government's plan, we should have regard to Hong Kong circumstances and drop KPIs so as to formulate the dedicated vertical large models for different industries. We should also make use of other resources such as the IT accelerator scheme to subsidize local R&D institutions which collaborate with local firms so that we can lower the threshold of adopting AI by SMEs, and that we can also help transform R&D outcomes into new quality productive forces. The second suggestion is to incorporate AI-related talent training in the five-year plan. Hardware is, of course, important, and that means computing power. But at the same time, we should groom talents. I'm happy to see that the government has set aside $50 million to promote AI for all policy training. In the coming 5 years, the government should further deepen the relevant collaboration with the R&D sector so as to draw up talent admission policies and upgrade the training schemes. Now, specifically, AI upskilling or reskill subsidy should be given for practitioners in traditional industries to learn AI so as to strengthen our talent pool. The third suggestion is to build a visionary AI governance and data security framework. Data remains a fuel for AI, but security is also the cornerstone for our development. We need to make sure that whilst we promote mutual flow of data, we must ensure that privacy is sufficiently protected. In the coming 5-year plan, the government must draw a legal framework on regulating AI, as well as the A2A communication protocols. There should be clear delineation of responsibilities so that we will be able to use AI in a safe manner. Now, AI will remain for a long time, and I believe that if we developed AI in the three prongs I mentioned, we'll definitely be able to make Hong Kong an AI hub and enhance productivity comprehensively. I submit the motion and the amendments.
Dr. Alvin Lee. Thank you, Madam President. I thank Professor William Wong for his motion on empowering industries through artificial intelligence plus. and also promoting the development of the digital economy and a smart society. I also thank the members for moving their amendment. Artificial intelligence is reshaping economies and societies. The National 15th Five-Year Plan proposed the AI Plus initiative. It also proposes the integration of AI with technology, industry, society, culture, and people's lives. AI is the wave of the future. Hong Kong should seize this historic opportunity. I'm in the cultural sector. My concern is how we can empower the cultural sectors with AI. Bringing together technology and culture is a growing trend. There is discussion going on. There are well-developed products. Vertical large models will have to deal with text, images, and dimensions, and it should take the approach where we should expect more professional models in terms of writing, drafting, reenacting historical scenes. AI can play a role, and that will help Hong Kong play its role as an East meets West center for cultural exchange. But we have to plan ahead. The cultural sector must be part of the process when AI empowers industries, and this should be also should be part of our own 5-year plan. Dr. Johnny NG and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT mentioned security in the use of AI. In pursuing AI, the government also has the duty to come up with a legal framework for the deep integration of AI with various sectors. This is in line with the digital economy. Legal frameworks will define the boundaries for AI, and that will offer the rules for the industry and content creators to follow, and that in turn will foster the deep integration of AI with different sectors, and in the long term that will foster economic growth. Last year, the government consulted the public on the copyright ordinance. The sector, including me, was concerned. We provided submissions. There are key principles that the government must pay attention to and stick to. The existing copyright ordinance already has provisions on violations and liability for AI. Now, AI-generated content should be the reproduction of existing content, just like other forms of reproduction. When there is violation of rights, the liability must be set out clearly. Unauthorized use of content for AI training should be treated as a violation. Last year, a court in Munich, Germany, ruled that when OpenAI trained its model on lyrics, that act constituted an offense. Now, on text mining, we should avoid a one-size-fits-all approach. Content providers believe that an exemption that is too wide will harm the cultural and creative industry. Any exemption should follow the principles of lawful use and an opt-out process and transparency. Now, the current licensing approach works. It can support industry development. Now, a $250 million agreement has shown that this approach works. As AI progresses, when AI decides on its own to violate property rights, its actions will have to be taken. AI is the wave of the future. As experts say, we have to sprint ahead instead of just moving ahead as if we were walking. We have to integrate AI with all aspects of life. We will need algorithms, computing capacity, and other elements. I so submit. I support Professor William Wong's original motion and amendment. Mr. Jimmy Ng. Years ago, we were talking about AI was the future. Today, AI is the here and now. It's now part of all industries. We're now in the AI plus era. And this is empowering industries in transformation and upgrading. The government work report from last year proposed developing new quality productive forces in line with local conditions. Manufacturing edge, our market advantage, and digital technology need to be integrated. And then the State Council issued an opinion pushing for innovation in data, manufacturing, and also greater security so that we foster development and ensure security. And this means early on, even at the R&D stage, our country started its work on AI and it was pushing application so that there is AI for all. Now for us, the budget proposed a committee on AI Plus and industry development strategy. This committee will be led by the financial secretary so that we foster industries for AI and AI for industries. This task force will explore AI for different industries such as healthcare, finance. The reason for setting up this committee is to empower all industries with AI Plus so that we foster socioeconomic development. The BPA supports this initiative. We would like to see this committee to start working soon. That's because other places have moved ahead. The Singaporean Prime Minister announced a nationwide AI council to set out the directions. They proposed plans to adopt AI in advanced manufacturing and healthcare. Singapore also has this AI pioneer scheme to fund businesses in adopting AI. There will be a tailor-made solution for each business and train staff so they are not taking a one-size-fits-all approach. We can learn from them. So we can launch a business AI transformation funding scheme modeled on the BUD Fund. With the upgrading, we can burnish Hong Kong's image, and we can also create a new brand of smart manufacturing in Hong Kong. Many businesses are not wary of AI itself. They're simply worried about going down the wrong path in transformation. So we need an AI plus roadmap so that we have the visions and directions, and then people can commit their resources in a accurate way. I mean industry. So my concern is how we can pursue development on this front. Now, there was another opinion issued by the central authority setting out the directions for AI Plus. They proposed collaborative innovation and international collaboration in AI and manufacturing. The Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce has taken note of our country's goals in getting different businesses and sectors to adopt AI, and we can learn from them. The General Chamber of Commerce proposes 10 measures, meaning coming up with a strategy, staying focused, stepping up computing capacity, making the technology accessible to all, widening, exploring new markets, and widening collaboration. For AI to work, we will need computing capacity. Computing capacity must be made a key part of our 5-year plan. We need a task force for that. They should look at our future plan, and also we should find a way to make the most of the Northern Metropolis and the Loop so that we can achieve collaboration and computing capacity, as so submitted to Professor Chen Kwong. Madam President, I thank Professor William Wong for his motion so that we can have a focused discussion on empowering industries with artificial intelligence. We can all see that AI is permeating every aspect of life at an unprecedented pace in unprecedented depth. The latest figures show that in 2025, there were more than Hong Kong also conducted a survey showing that 52% of employees and 40% of financial institutions adopted AI. As Hong Kong enterprises make greater use of AI by 2030, we will see an economic boost of $287.4 billion. These figures show that AI is a new growth engine. The National 15th Five-Year Plan has already proposed the AI Plus initiative. The government work report this year also proposed a new pattern of economy. We should seize the opportunities arising from AI, and we should align with the national plan on this, so that we create fresh impetus for our economy with AI to drive high-quality economic growth. The use of AI can foster economic growth. It can also elevate our industries and foster high-quality development. Take the Chinese medicine sector. Our country has adopted new technology in Chinese medicine. They bring together Chinese medicine and cellular therapy in preventing diseases, and this can leverage CM's edge in preventive care. AI is used in preventive care, and this shows that bring together CM and technology can modernize and internationalize Chinese medicine. And that is meeting the goal under the 15th Five-Year Plan about fostering CM. Other industries can also benefit from the use of AI. We should make a greater effort to foster the deep integration of AI with different industries so that different industries can go green and go smart. On how we go about integrating AI with different industries, the motion and the amendment have a lot of insights to share. I support them. I want to point out that AI is supposed to serve people. In the mainland, they make much greater use of AI than in Hong Kong. They have drone delivery of goods, of meals. They use robots to prepare dishes. That's everywhere in the mainland. In Hong Kong, we're still trialing the technologies. They have yet to see application in people's everyday life. The government should make a greater effort to transform R&D outcomes into tangible services and something that can benefit people. The deep integration of AI with industries brings many benefits, but that also poses risks. Criminals use deepfake and cloning for fraud purposes. Victims are more likely to fall prey to such scams. That's why I support Ms. Elizabeth QUAT's amendment. Let's learn from the experience of the mainland and overseas. Let's improve our legal framework on AI so that we come up with a secure environment for AI development, and we support economic development. As so submit, I support the motion and all amendments.
Mr. Bill Tang. Thank you, President. On the developments of AI, the FTP has been paying close attention to the developments. In a moment's time, Mr. Lee Kuan-yew, my colleague, will speak on how AI can benefit all industries. But of equal importance, how can we ensure that the employees in all industries will not have their jobs taken by AI? In developing AI, electricity is key. The countries is generating double the power that's of the United States. Now, in developing AI, the lack of cutting-edge chips may be a limitation. However, electricity infrastructure of the country is the best in the world. In Hong Kong, we rely on the two private power companies to generate electricity. Now, the government has always had a good working relationship with the two power companies. The tariff is negotiable, but is the power generated sufficient for all industries to use AI? In the future, the government has to think about how to ensure stable power supply while achieving the geo-decarbonization goal. So I really hope to hear from the Secretary for Environment as well. The development of AI, computing power, and power generation should be given equal attention. Now, besides enhancing the productivity of all industries and upskilling of employees, in terms of city governance, are we using AI enough? Many colleagues have spoken on the use of AI on elderly care and even fire safety. On a more profound level, in terms of the governance of the city, we need professional departments to legislate and enforce the law according to their own purview. Now, of course, the departments are responsible for the usage and protection of the data. This process is not efficient. On the other hand, the Home Affairs Department is not the coordinator between the departments. Now, when it comes to electronic governance, Hangzhou and Shanghai are very successful examples. They have a city brain. There is a unified platform covering different departments, including transport departments and the fire services department. The city brain can identify risks and problems in real time and notify different departments to enforce the law. That relies on the sharing of data across governments. Now, in Hong Kong, I know that Professor Sun Dong is working very hard, but we need to try this out. We need to identify areas where data can be shared between departments to enable real-time monitoring of the city's operation with AI. Then the AI would notify certain departments to enforce the law or deal with the needs in different areas. Now, in my career as a council member, I've never seen that happen. So, of course, we want to see AI to empower all industries, but the government, as a part of the community, should offer better services by sharing its data. We need to tackle the lack of efficiency of our government service, and also we need to work on the power supply as well. Thank you. I will submit. Mr. Peter Chiu. President, the National 15th Five-Year Plan stipulates that AI has a strategic position. It will be the driving force behind the new round of technological revolution and industry transformation. It is also the core driver of new quality productive forces. Now, last May, the State Council has issued the opinions on further implementing AI plus action. It states that we need to promote the in-depth integration between AI and different sectors in society and reshape how we work and live. Now, the government is closely aligning with the country's strategy. Now, in the 2026-7 budget, the government has stated that it will align with the country's AI Plus initiative. The government will promote the expeditious development and integration between AI and industries to achieve AI training for all. The Liberal Party fully supports and welcomes this. Over the past few years, Professor Sun Dong, Secretary for ITI, has responded to our suggestion to create many funding scheme to support INT development. Now, the motion moved by Professor William Wong has been supported by many colleagues. They have been calling for the development of AI in their respective fields. Now, I agree that AI can be used in all industries. For example, our ward offices. In the past, it would take a full day for my colleagues to write a script for me. Now the script can be ready in minutes. I asked why it is so efficient. It turns out that AI has been used to produce the script, and I really admire the quality of the product. So it shows that AI is being used in our own ward offices. So not to mention in other areas. Just now, Mr. Bill Tang mentioned about jobs. Now, most of my predecessors have commented on the development of AI, but several of them have mentioned their worries about AI. I share their concerns. With the more widespread use of AI, would it increase the number of jobs or reduce them? Now, I always ask the government, with the money spent on INT, will the manpower be reduced? Now, the government will always answer that the free up manpower would be deployed to other areas. Now, of course, government service is getting better and better, but the reality is technology will reduce demand for manpower. For example, in my sector, hotel and retail sector, over the past few years, there has been seismic changes in the business environment. There are lots of empty, vacant shops. There are more and more people going north to spend money, and there are fewer visitors who spend money in Hong Kong. And we are all threatened by e-commerce. In the past, from factory to wholesaler and retailers to consumers, everyone made money along the way. There were businesses all along the chain, and many people have been employed. Nowadays, goods would be delivered to consumers directly from factories. Of course, the price is lower than before. But what about the intermediaries? Who will pay the rent and who will hire the employees? Now, with these businesses struggling, some of them may have to downsize or even fold up. So that's the technology's challenges posed to the sector. Now, even if you are professionals like lawyers and accountants or ward office assistants, and also researchers, even designers, AI can do your job. So what's the point of paying for a human being? If one day it is found that these employees are made redundant, we have to think of something else. Dr. David Lam. Thank you, President. Now, this script is written by myself and not AI. I thank Professor William Wong for his motion on empowering all industries through AI Plus to promote the development of digital economy and smart society. I will talk about AI's usage on medical services. Aging population is a global challenge. Hong Kong is the same. Naturally, the demand for medical services will only increase in the future. The usage rate of elderly people of medical service exceeds that of young people, and the percentage of major operations also accounts for a higher percentage. After stroke or cardiovascular surgeries, rehabilitation is required. Long-term care and regular checkup of vital signs are required. We need to prevent falls, and also we need to remind elderly people to attend follow-up and take medicines. Now, if we are not using AI, there will be overwhelming demand for medical manpower. But we only have 30,000 newborn every year. There are 3 medical schools, and every year we will have 700 new doctors. Through special pathways, we will have some 200 Hong Kongers coming back to Hong Kong to practice. Dentists, 90. Chinese medical practitioners, 80. Overseas doctors, mostly Hong Kong people. Every year we have 5,000 new nurses. Physiotherapists and occupational therapists, 500 each year. For those returning to Hong Kong, mostly Hong Kongers, 200. Optometrists, radiologists, medical laboratories, and so on. Every year, we have some 7,500 new blood entering the trade. So 1 in 4 newborn will have to participate in the medical industry to meet demand. Then what about other sectors like legal sector, aviation, and so on? Of course, we can introduce talents, but using AI and technologies to plug the gap is inevitable. Since the 90s, when the electronic healthcare record system has been launched, public hospitals have accumulated a big amount of data. Many of these are structured data which can be analyzed. It is very slow and inaccurate to use human minds to analyze these data. But with AI, we can see through the data. For example, if I want to prescribe steroid drugs, AI can help me identify the risk and draw up the medical record. There are lots of usage scenarios. For example, analyzing X-ray charts and also making diagnosis, and also guiding endoscopic surgeries. A doctor's analysis boils down to pattern recognition. Now with AI can suggest the relevant examination and treatments. In the future, there may be fully automated medical treatment. Now, AI can accumulate experience through data. The data they have access to is much larger than a human being. Now, at present, AI can make suggestions and the judgment can be made by doctors who have liabilities. The next step may be AI-driven interface. Robots may conduct surgeries with highly accurate sensory system. Now, in terms of R&D, we have something called systematic review, which requires us to find the suitable reports among a large amount of journals. AI can help us greatly in this respect and speed up the quality and speed of research. AI will not replace the profession, but it can greatly enhance our work efficiency and reduce demand for manpower. Human plus AI can be much more effective than either alone. There are unlimited opportunities. Life and health development and innovation is the GBA's role given by the country. I look forward that the policy will support the application of AI and clear this delineation between the liabilities of human and AI. Thank you.
Mr. Jonathan Lau. President, with the rapid development of AI, there have been a major impact on the mode of production and people's day-to-day living. Now, AI is driving a global economic and societal transformation. The outline of the 15th Five-Year Plan stipulates fully implementing the AI Plus initiative. We support the AI Plus X policies to be formulated by the government. As for the catering industry in Hong Kong, it is crucial to promoting tourism in Hong Kong as well. Now, if this industry is empowered through AI, we can promote the transformation of the F&B sector, and we can develop new quality productive forces. The F&B sector is labor intensive. In the face of labor shortage, and another challenge of young people not interested in joining the industry is getting more and more difficult to have sufficient hands. I thank the government for rolling out the enhanced SLS scheme to alleviate the pressure of the sector. Still, this is only on a limited scale. The sector relies on technology. The government has rolled out the tech voucher scheme and digital transformation support pilot scheme to help enterprises go digital. But these two schemes do not really meet the needs of the F&B sector. Now, even with some adjustments, they only help with, say, setting up the point of sale electronic system and client management system. The schemes do not tackle the pain points of the F&B sector. Now, the government has set up the $300 million pilot scheme to help enterprises adopt AI. This can help enhance the operational efficiency of the F&B sector. For example, we can have an AI-driven order system and a smart system to improve the workflow, and we can also enhance the turnover. Since we're able to attract more customers, we can also use AI to analyze the customers' habits and patterns and introduce precise inventory control so as to save resources. AI can be used to man the chatbot so that customers' requests can be actively immediately acceded to. This can enhance service quality. We can also use AI to analyze market trends and help chefs develop new dishes. Now, the F&B industry also handles a lot of data transaction records. So it's very important that we have good cybersecurity network. The government should provide guidance and subsidy to help the industry set up a framework on the safe use of AI to prevent data leak and compromising personal data privacy. At the moment, our sector do not have sufficient practitioners equipped with AI knowledge. The Liberal Party suggests that the government works with the relevant sector and the education institutions to roll out training courses. For example, certificate courses on the use of AI by F&B practitioners and AI-assisted cooking for chefs, so on and so forth, so as to enhance the overall competitiveness of the sector and attract more young people to join our industry. AI helps not only enhance service efficiency of the sector, it also forms a major innovative force for the sector to achieve breakthroughs so that we can break away from the traditional framework and migrate from a labor-intensive industry to a smart one. The Liberal Party suggests that the government set up dedicated funds to address the pain points of the F&B sector, and that subsidies should be given to develop dedicated AI systems for the sector so as to help them with technological upgrades and provide resources for training so that we can continue to be the international gourmet capital. I so submit. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. Thank you, President. I speak in support of Professor William Wong's motion. Well, I previously talked to Bernard Chan, the Undersecretary, and we all agree that AI is developing so rapidly. As for AI models, it's not about how advanced it is, but how extensive it can be applied so that all industries can benefit from AI. According to Citibank's prediction, the global AI market will reach a size of $4.2 trillion US, and in fact, AI is now implemented across different industries. So for the next competition, it's not about building the most powerful models, but the speed in which AI can be implemented and translated into real productivity. So in this new era of AI, the government should reposition itself. The government should not just provide funds and support, but rather other policies to build incubators and testing grounds. Now, there are many I&T policies focusing on dishing out money to help enterprises undertake research projects. But then there is a problem of duplication of resources. Now, there are many SMEs working on an AI-driven logistics and inventory control system. The government pays up to 100 times the subsidies only to achieve little result because of the duplication. These SMEs may not have sufficient data or computing power to continue to invest in their models. So in the end, despite 100% input, you only get 1% output. The government should take the lead and focus on some particular industries in developing vertical large models. These models should be open source for use by the SMEs, and that it may be much more effective. Earlier, I visited some enterprises in Guangzhou and Shenzhen. I followed this business mission. In Guangzhou, the government actively promotes AI+. The government doesn't only just provide subsidies, it helps build an AI platform so that the whole cycle is complete with data collection, data training, and empowerment of industry through AI, etc. This is a common platform, and all enterprises can make use of this platform with shared computing power. In Shenzhen, there is another model. There is an AI ecosystem that forms a whole community with shared computing power and different scenarios and common rules, etc. This common platform is now accessed by over 200 enterprises. It shows that when it comes to AI policies, the government should not just stop at dishing out money. They should at least build a platform to help SMEs. Annually speaking, the operating cost amounts to some $300,000 to $2 million. We also need the AI hardware investment at the early stage and professionals to operate the systems. So that means at the outset, the SMEs will have a very heavy burden on their shoulders. Like I said, instead of dishing out subsidies to 100 enterprises, the government should take the lead and build an open source platform for shared use by the SMEs so as to achieve much greater cost effectiveness. This is akin to the science park and the airport. The government must provide the infrastructure first, so that enterprises can run in a more cost-effective manner at a lower cost. We do have the prerequisites. We are the international financial center. We have a very mature legal system. We also have a lot of use cases in the financial services, logistics, and healthcare industries. Now, we have a lot of SMEs in Hong Kong. It's more suitable for a shared AI platform to be built. According to a survey in 2025, 88% of staff in enterprises agreed that AI is now being used in their line of work. So we can select some key industries such as financial services, legal services, healthcare, etc. And then the government can take the lead to build vertical large models so that a shared AI platform can be built with shared computing power to ease the burden on SME so that we can be a true testing ground. I hope that through this approach we can help enhance competitiveness in the next generation. Mr. Tang Fei, President, I speak in support of Professor Wong's motion. Now, AI is different from the past technological achievements. AI, through in-depth learning, can help help the machine catch up with human beings in terms of learning, and be it AI literacy or enhancing AI knowledge, it's very difficult to keep pace with the development. In the past, it took at least 20 years for, say, the communication protocol to move from analog to digital. Say for computer operating systems, we started with Windows 95, Win 98, all the way to Win 365, and we're talking about revamp once every 2 years. For smartphones, the OS updates roughly once a year. Now, all these are achievements in the past. There was time for individuals or for society as a whole to get used to the technological changes. And that for industries, despite adopting these technologies, they are not fully automated. But on the other hand, for AI and the large language models, according to my own tracking, the models update once every 2 months or even quicker. Now, just a few years ago, when we talked about the emergence of ChatGPT, it was really a surprise. We talked about the hallucinations, but then the Google series came along, and then you see the improvement by using Gemini 3.0 or 3.1 Pro. They're able, the system is able to complete the whole word processing and other document creating functions. And then we also have the coding by OpenClaw. It's user-friendly, and GPT recently has developed codecs. Again, somebody who is totally ignorant about coding can now write programs. But these are these are models developed by Western countries. They use the natural language processing as the backing, whereas in the mainland we have a different model. There is no need to hire anyone. You can just use AI and finish the job quickly. In the early days, we used AI as chatbots. Now it can become an agent, such as embodied AI. With this technology, we can automate what you have to do. In the past, you learned coding, and then you need to have some basic knowledge, and then you make use of API, and then this is interfaced with different computer systems, etc. Now, there is no need to know anything about coding. With AI, you can do the job. For consumers like ourselves, again, AI is posing a huge pressure. AI causes uncertainties for the job security of, say, program developers, designers, and other workers. And there is also a very huge gap across different generations because of the emergence of AI and digital technology. Now, in fact, for Professor Wong, or even the later generations, AI poses a real threat to their jobs. So I have 3 suggestions. When it comes to coding, digital education, the blueprint, AI training for all, we need to stay calm. We cannot just there is no one-size-fits-all solution. We cannot just draw up one set of guidelines for AI. We need to keep things flexible so that over time we can adapt to the pace of AI's development. Second, we need to address the digital gap. For young people, they are self-taught. For the older generation, they are deterred. For grassroots, say for poorer schools, they may not even have the proper Wi-Fi. They may not have hardware to support popular use of AI. The third suggestion is that we should focus on LLMs and its development. Now, should we rely on our own LLM, or should we rely on vertical language models developed elsewhere? Now, we are at an embarrassing situation. In the mainland, we have a form of AI, and then if we want to use AI models developed overseas, we need to use VPN, and there is also the issue of data security. So in the end, what should be done when it comes to education? Your time is up.
Mr. Chen Shouguang. Thank you, President. Professor William Wong's motion today shows farsight, and it's a defining topic for our era, and has to do with Hong Kong's future core competitiveness. This is in line with the National 15th Five-Year Plan, which proposes the wholesale adoption of AI+. Hong Kong must have a seat at the table, and we have to go on the offensive. We must seize the edge in artificial intelligence. I throw my full support behind this motion. To implement AI+, the government must go beyond simply giving money. The government must be the facilitator and the guide. For this motion, There are three areas of focus that warrant the government's attention. First, computing power. This is the engine. Data represent the fuel. Hong Kong's businesses, especially the small and medium enterprises, struggle with the high costs of computing power. Accessing it is too challenging in technological terms. We need cost-effective public computing capacity so that SMEs can access it at affordable rates. We should break down the silos that are the many departments. We should break the barriers between different departments, and we should create favorable conditions for quality models. The motion mentions AI plus X. This is spot on. We have top-notch financial services, logistics, and healthcare. The government should set up a dedicated fund to encourage collaboration across industries. We should re-engineer our work procedures. We need industry-specific vertical language models. This will raise the efficiency of our professional services, and that will become Hong Kong's new quality productive forces. We should nurture interdisciplinary talent. Let's foster human AI collaboration. For this AI era, we need someone with AI proficiency and industry knowledge. So this means the government should work with universities on revamping education. We should also raise the AI literacy of the public. We must help the public understand that AI can bring productivity gains to allay community concerns about AI taking jobs away from people. Imagine hiring an AI assistant to each secretary of bureau. Those AI assistants don't take leave. They can read through tens of thousands of pages of papers, and that will mean a major breakthrough in efficiency. Now, when issues come up, you have to go back to your bureaus and think through problems. An AI assistant for our directors of bureaus will help sort out many problems. Still, AI assistants will have their limitations. They cannot handle the press. They cannot answer questions in LegCo. So having directors of bureaus being held accountable while AI assistants do the grunt work may be a prime example of human AI collaboration. Empowering industries with AI will involve a profound change in society. We have to fully embrace the AI era. I so submit. I support Professor William Wong's motion. Thank you. Mr. Alan Chen. AI plus means using AI to re-engineer work processes, raise efficiency, and strengthen risk management. The National 15th Five-Year Plan proposes a 12.5% target for AI by 2030. The State Council also sets out plans. By 2027, the prevalence of smart entities should reach a certain level, and by 2030, that level should reach over 90%. In finance and commerce, we should adopt such technologies, and this is where Hong Kong shines. We have to understand our country's directions. We also have to be clear about Guangdong's plans. Guangdong released its own 15th Five-Year Plan. They will fully adopt AI+, and that will involve computing power data sets. They will focus on financial services. Among other areas, they will create vertical language models. So these are industry-specific models. There will also be support for issuance of offshore RMB bonds in Hong Kong and efforts to foster the use of RMB in cross-boundary transactions. I want to focus on finance today. Hong Kong has an edge. We can work with Guangdong. We can contribute to our country in finance. Based on a 2025 report on the internationalization of RMB, RMB became the second most popular and third largest currency in cross-boundary payment. In terms of offshore RMB bond issuance, there was a 20% growth. Given this huge demand for offshore RMB, Hong Kong must go beyond being just the only offshore RMB pool. We have to work on bond, forex, commodities, and also offshore RMB loans. AI can empower finance in 6 ways. The government has set up a committee on AI Plus and industry development strategy. We should set up a financial task force under that committee. Let's promote a vertical model for finance. We need pricing for loans, credit referencing, and also anti-money laundering, as well as RMB liquidity benchmarking systems. Let's nurture interdisciplinary AI talent on this front. We need smart pricing and credit referencing for our RMB market. We should look at cash flows, default risks. We can help mainland enterprises, and we should help them issue bonds in Hong Kong, so that Hong Kong as a wealth center can offer more RMB-denominated products. We should develop an offshore RMB loan market. Let's develop a big data credit referencing platform. Let's create a financing platform to help RMB move back into the mainland. And we need a commodities RMB market. We should monitor commodities, minerals, energy, and agricultural output. And we should develop RMB-based hedging tools to help the mainland businesses manage pricing risk. Let's create an AI database for enterprises going global. Let's bring together professionals from across industries. We can work with overseas ETOs. We can offer legal services and commerce-specific AI models so that we can offer market insights. And this can overcome information asymmetry across markets, and this can also help us support mainland businesses in going global. Let's create a GBA financial security sandbox. Let's encourage businesses to test out new products and new models. Let's launch tokenized loans based on offshore RMB. AI can help us enhance our financial services and develop our offshore RMB business and contribute to our country, leveraging our institutional edge and also our proximity to Guangdong. Let's come up with our vertical model specific to the financial sector, and we can create a new golden era. Support the motion and all amendments.
主席，亦都多謝孫局長。
Mr. Brave Chan. We support Professor William Wong's motion and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT's amendment. The DAB and the New Territories Association of Societies support this. Now I want to discuss proactively aligning with our country's AI Plus initiative to fully enhance Hong Kong's new quality productive forces. AI is core to Hong Kong's future. Our country has also identified AI as an essential part to our country's development. AI will help us seize the strategic initiative in our future development. The National 15th Five-Year Plan also identifies AI Plus as a key part. The policy address last year also identified artificial intelligence as an essential part of the industrial revolution for Hong Kong, the Northern Metropolis, and the Loop. have been discussed in great detail, and there is a lot of funding granted for this project. So we can redouble our investments in the upstream sector. Now we're talking about artificial plus intelligence. A member suggested having AI assistants for our directors of bureaus. Well, in the end, you can have AI electrical members. They will be cheaper. Now we are well paid, so we try to be smarter. You look at the first generation of planes and mobile phones. Those were very costly but not very smart, and that includes the lift at the electrical complex. But our end goal should be seeking smarter outcomes for lower cost. We need better outcomes. With a poor outcome, even if something is very smart and comes with a very high cost, we should ditch them. We should look at the outcome. We need something that can produce good outcomes for the public. Jensen Huang and Elon Musk agree on a point. Professor Sun Dong knows this well. Those two gentlemen say computing power is essential for AI, and essential to computing power is power supply. The US has the most advanced chips. But our country generated twice as much electricity as the US last year. We have solar power, we have hydropower, and wind power. Our country also has nuclear power. We joined the president on a visit to Xinjiang. We saw the solar power for ourselves. There was wind power and there was hydropower. Those are green sources of power. There is a war in the Middle East. These clean energy sources are unaffected. So let's take the green power and use that in the loop. And then we will have an inexhaustible and secure source of power to support our INT endeavors. So we should redouble our efforts on this. This should be our future. So we should we should go for greater, faster, better, and more efficient results. We should strive for savings. Let's save time. While we keep the costs the same, we should see ever smarter outcomes, and we see better and better outcomes. Let's all work together on this. So that concludes the speaking time. Professor William Wong, you may now speak on the amendment. I'm grateful to Dr. Johnny, Mr. Wun-kit, and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT for their amendments. Their amendments enrich my motion. AI moved at a breakneck pace in recent years. With the rapid development, we will need a system to provide safeguards. That's how we can fully unleash the potential of AI. At the two sessions this year, the attendants proposed enhancements to the governance system. Dr. Johnny and Mr. Wun-kit and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT argued for a legal framework for regulating AI. Agentic AI saw rapid development in recent years. The open claw was very popular for a while, and that gave rise to privacy concerns. Dr. Johnny NG also stresses greater transparency for AI operation, protection for privacy, and also accountability. The government has done much in this. The PCPD released the model rules on protection for privacy in the age of AI. The Digital Policy Office also announced the Hong Kong Generative AI Technical and Application Guidelines. The government has laid a foundation for regulating AI, but then AI moves fast. The government should closely follow developments in AI. These guidelines should be updated in a timely way. And we should monitor the implementation of these guidelines so that the people become more aware of these guidelines. We need more than just normative guidelines. We also need something more practical. We need a legal framework to go hand in hand. Ms. Elizabeth QUAT calls for a tiered approach to the regulation of companies. She argues for a way to trace the output of AI-generated content. Here, the government should explore third-party insurance for robots and also the trade descriptions for robots. That's how we can achieve greater transparency. We also need an internationalized project management standard so that we can help our AI sector go global. Mr. Wun-kit's amendment focuses on education and fusing AI with education so that we raise public awareness of AI and help the public to learn about AI. These steps are key to the popularization of AI. In March, I submitted a proposal on AI literacy for the public. I hope the government can look at my proposal. AI literacy is more than just about technical education. It's also about shaping a culture. We want people to approach AI in a rational and responsible way. And only then can technology contribute to public well-being and lead to better public services. I fully support the 3 amendments. I also hope other members can support them. I so submit.
Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. President, once again I thank Professor William Wong for moving the motion. I also thank Dr. Johnny NG, Mr. Wun-kit, and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT for their amendments. I'm also grateful to 39 members' speeches. Now I will make a consolidated reply concerning the invaluable views and suggestions made by members. On the development strategy of AI+, AI is reshaping the global technological and economic landscape at unprecedented speed. In face of the historic opportunity brought about by the change, we must strike out and actively align with the country's AI+ strategy so that we can ride this wave of revolution to drive economic and societal upgrading and transformation. The Hong Kong I&T Development Blueprint has provided clear guidance for our AI development. The core spirit is to drive the widespread adoption of AI in all industries. In the following, I will explain the government's key work and future plan for promoting AI+ and respond to major concerns and suggestions made by members. AI+ strategy layout. As mentioned in my opening remarks, the major focus of the AI+ initiative is to empower industries and adopt AI widely. In other words, industries for AI. The government is at full steam at establishing the Committee on AI Plus and Industry Development Strategy, which will set out strategies for bringing about AI-driven industry transformation and development. At the initial phase, we will focus on embodied AI and life and health technology. We are now preparing for the establishment of the committee. To achieve industry upgrade and transformation with AI, we have to achieve the second objective of AI Plus, that is AI for industries. That means strengthening the integration and interaction between the core development elements of AI. The Hong Kong AI Research and Development Institute, established in March this year, will play the role as a bellwether in the AI ecosystem to coordinate the commercialization of AI outcomes as well as the matching between AI solutions and industry demand, so as to empower industries with AI. Now, robust digital infrastructure and computational power is the foundation for AI innovation and commercialization. At present, the overall computing capacity in Hong Kong has reached 5,000 petaflops. Under the $3 billion AI subsidy scheme, 30 projects in relation to development of local large language model, new materials, biocomposites, and medical large model have been approved to provide support for AI R&D. The construction of the Sandy Ridge Data Park has started. It is expected that by 2032, it will provide some 180,000 petaflops per second, equivalent to 36 times the present computing power. It will also adopt the most advanced data center technologies in the world to provide unlimited support for AI developments in the medium to long run. Now, allow me to respond to members' views on the government's role. Now, the government is now enhancing collaboration to provide carbon-free power supply. Now, the relevant construction work will be completed within the year. It is estimated that we can import carbon-free electricity from the mainland in phases in the future. We will continue to follow our plan to build new energy facilities to receive carbon-free power from the country so as to reduce our reliance on burning coal electricity so as to achieve the dual carbon goal by 2050. We will achieve zero carbon power generation. Empowering industries through AI R&D. R&D at the source is a key component of AI Plus. Through Inno Hong Kong platform, we are creating a favorable environment to achieve AI technological breakthrough and application. The R&D fund supports other transformation projects of AI. That includes the Hong Kong Center for Logistics and Robotics, Human-Robot Coordination Technology for Robotic Arms, the Autonomous Mobile Robots for Logistic Tasks, Multi-Scale Medical Robotics Centers AI-Assisted Endoscopic Surgery, and also the Hong Kong Center for Construction Robotics, Smart Crane Tower, and Excavators. In addition, the Hong Kong AI R&D Institute will drive cross-sectoral research projects and provide funding support to local schools and R&D institutions to engage in futuristic AI studies and also the commercialization of the outcome. AI Plus is industry-oriented. It offers boundless possibilities for all industries. Besides our advantageous sectors like financial services and medical health, we will offer policy guidance to mobilize market forces to a larger extent to empower the development of Hong Kong's AIDS Center. In addition, a number of members have suggested that we should develop different vertical large language models that covers logistics, education, and research. Members also suggested that we adopt AI to a larger extent in different sectors. I fully support these suggestions, but it is my opinion that it would be best if the market take the lead in this effort rather than the government. The government, on the other hand, will provide support to the private sector to develop these large models. We welcome your further views on this. I agree with Professor William Wong and Mr. Wun-kit in that we should strengthen the usage of AI in social governance and enhancement of public services. The AI Advocacy Enhancement Team, led by the Chief Secretary for Administration, is driving the adoption of AI technologies by different government departments to reorganize workflow and enhance performance. The task force is reviewing the workflow of departments. It prioritizes AI flagship projects with frequent contacts with the public. Now, the target is to roll out the AI flagship projects within the next year and to provide AI tools covering different segments of administration. Also, we are speeding up the digitalization of our services. We have introduced AI and data science experts and market-leading technologies. We are providing core technological services through AI and data science to respond to the public's need. Now, the SMEs are the mainstay of our economy. Now, so far, there are 360,000 SMEs in Hong Kong. In the process of AI for industries, SMEs play a very important role. Now, within the year, we will launch the enhanced version of the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Scheme to better support SMEs to adopt AI. We will take stock of members' views given today and consider more similar programs in the future to support the usage of AI by SMEs. Now, the success of AI for industries and industries for AI lies in whether we can create a robust ecosystem. Now, there are a large number of R&D companies in Hong Kong. If they can identify the needs swiftly and come up with AI solutions suitable for different scenarios, then it can accelerate the growth of the business as well as contributing to the AI ecosystem. That is the reason why the AI ecosystem in the mainland have developed so quickly. Now, the government's work is to implement a series of policies to enhance such an ecosystem in Hong Kong so as to trigger the process of voluntary participation in AI+. AI for all and AI training for all. In order that AI benefits society as a whole, it is crucial to popularize the knowledge and usage of AI at all layers of society so that different groups can understand, have access to, and be proficient in AI. That's why starting from this Saturday, at a free TV channel, we will launch a series of AI auditorium program. The program will translate complicated concepts into easy-to-understand dialogues with AI experts. At the community level, we will also leverage the industry's expertise to organize a series of AI training for all so as to enhance the public's awareness, literacy, and ability to use AI. We will also explore the feasibility to deploy robots to attend popular science activities. Now, we hope that we'll provide support to local organizations to purchase robots so that the public can get a real taste of AI and welcome AI into their homes and daily lives. Many members mentioned that we need to use AI to support the underprivileged. I fully support that suggestion. That aligns with the government's principle to share the benefits of AI development with the public. We will continue to work towards that goal. I thank members, including the mover of the motion, for the importance attached to AI talent education. We implement a comprehensive AI education strategy. At the primary and secondary stage, the Education Bureau has launched programs to enhance scientific thinking of students as well as their comprehensive ability to use AI. For university, during the curriculum, between 2025 and 2028, the UGC has funded 27 new degree programs in relation to STEAM, covering fields including AI, creative industries, and data science. The Steering Committee on Strategic Development of Digital Education will publish the blueprints for digital education in primary and secondary school within the year to enhance the digital education atmosphere in campus and enhance students' AI literacy. At the same time, the Employee Retraining Board will be upgraded to Upskill Hong Kong. It will provide different training programs covering AI usage. These are skill-based programs. So as to enhance the competitiveness of our local labor force, governance and regulation, we have to ensure that AI is being used effectively with manageable risks. In terms of integration of AI into industries, we have to ensure that technologies are developed safely and in compliance with the law. I thank Dr. Johnny NG and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT for their suggestions. We attach importance to the governance and risk prevention in AI's development to ensure effective use of AI with manageable risks. Now, the Digital Policy Office has formulated the Ethical AI Framework and Hong Kong Generative AI Technical and Application Guideline to provide guidance to AI developers, service providers, and service users for them to identify and manage the relevant potential risks. We are aware of the developments of AI in different jurisdictions and also the different forms and degrees of regulation. In terms of risk classification, the contents of generative AI and incident report requirements. On the risk of AI, the safe use of AI and governance standard, we will consult the Hong Kong AI R&D Institute. We will also collaborate with the DOJ's Interdepartmental Working Group to review legislation to support wider application of AI, to conduct in-depth review of the existing legislations. And then we will come up with targeted and operable solutions given Hong Kong's context. Now, concerning sectors which are more affected by AI, for example, financial and economical stability, we will study the relevant legislations. Now, two members have mentioned their concern on who will call the shot in the future, AI or human beings. Now, this debate is very relevant. At the policymaking process, sometimes human beings are already replaced by AI. AI is a double-edged sword. Now, concerning these concerns of human beings being replaced by AI in certain areas, the government will not dodge this question. Now, we look forward to working with the Legislative Council and society as a whole to come up with solutions for these challenges. President, implementing AI Plus is not an empty slogan. It entails specific, continuous, and agile actions. AI is developing at breakneck speed, so our strategies must be flexible and suit the local context. Now, in Hong Kong's first 5-year plan, our focus will be on using AI to support the high-quality developments of all industries, while promoting the widespread use of AI. We will attach importance to innovation and security. We will enhance the governance framework and build a healthy and orderly AI ecosystem so as to make Hong Kong a leading city in AI application and consolidate our position as an international IP center so as to bring sense of happiness and well-being to the public. President, I thank all members who have spoken. I so submit.
I now call upon Dr. Johnny Ng to move an amendment. Dr. Johnny Ng. President, I move my amendment. I propose the question to you that the amendment moved by Dr. Johnny Ng be passed. And I put the question to you as stated. Will members please proceed to vote? Members, please press the present button. Those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think that the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present, that is, those returned by the election committee and those returned by the functional constituencies and geographical constituencies. I declare the amendment passed. Mr. Wun-kit, as the previous amendment has been passed, you may move your further amendment. President, I move my further amendment. I propose the question to you that the further amendment moved by Mr. Wun-kit be passed. And I put the question to you as stated. Will members please proceed to vote? Members, please press the present button. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present, that is, those returned by the election committee and those returned by functional constituencies and geographical constituencies. I declare the amendment passed. Ms. Elizabeth QUAT, as previous amendments have been passed, you may move your further amendment. President, I move my further amendment. I propose the question to you that the further amendment moved by Ms. Elizabeth QUAT be passed. I now put the question to you as stated. We now proceed to vote. Members, please press the present button. Those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present, that is, those returned by the election committee and those returned by the functional constituencies and geographical constituencies. I declare the amendment passed. Professor William Wong, you still have 1 minute, 36 seconds to give a reply, then the debate will come to a close. Professor Wong. 42 members spoke. I thank them for their speeches. They brought to the table their expertise. They made many great suggestions about AI plus X. AI plus will be key to our future economic transformation. I hope the government, in preparing our own 5-year plan, can adopt the suggestions and comments made by members today so that Hong Kong can seize opportunities in this AI transformation and we can drive this digital economy and our society's changes so that we contribute to our country's development and contribute Hong Kong's part to play Hong Kong's part in contributing to our country. The latest QS ranking shows that Hong Kong has moved down some places in humanities. So when we draft our AI policies, we cannot just look at the technology. We have to also look at AI literacy for all. I so submit. I hope members will support my motion. And now I propose the question to you that Professor William Wong's motion as amended by Dr. Johnny Ng, Mr. Wun-kit, and Ms. Elizabeth QUAT be passed. Will members please proceed to vote and press the present button? Those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present, that is, those returned by the election committee and those returned by functional constituencies and geographical constituencies. I declare the motion as amended passed.